Hey, today in this video I'm going to talk about Romney's 3-2-1 strategy that you might have heard about for getting to 270 electoral votes to win the presidency. I'm going to talk about what that strategy is and what it calls for him to do, and then if that strategy can work, if he could pull it off and get to 270 and win the presidency. So you might have heard about what there's been articles and it's been on TV a couple times, but basically what the 3-2-1 strategy is that those are the steps that Romney has to take. So the first step that he has to do is he has to win all the states that McCain carried in 2008, and he'll probably will do that. There's really no states that McCain won that are in any danger of switching over to Obama. The only one that some people thought might was Arizona, because the thought was that Arizona went for McCain because McCain's from Arizona. But there's been polls of Arizona, and just what a lot of people are saying is that Arizona's gonna go for Romney. So yeah, there's a very high chance that Romney's going to carry all the states that McCain won. So then you get into the 3-2-1 part. The 3 is Romney has to win 3 states that Obama won in 2008, but that are that traditionally go for Republicans. Those states are Virginia, Indiana, and North Carolina. I'll just go through them quickly. Indiana is almost definitely going to go for Romney. The governor there is Mitch Daniels. He's a popular governor. Pretty much all the polls in Indiana say that it's going to go for Romney. So for now, we'll say that Indiana's going to go for Romney. North Carolina is another one that's I would say right now is almost definitely going to go for Romney. It really is a traditional Republican state. Obama carried it by a really narrow margin. Yeah, and they just had the referendum on gay marriage, and they voted to uphold traditional marriage. And then a couple days after that was when Obama came out in support of same-sex marriage. So I don't know how much that'll play in North Carolina. It's most likely mostly about the economy and jobs and stuff, but if it does play, that's probably a good time for Romney with that referendum. But I would say that Virginia or North Carolina will most likely go for Romney, and it'll be fairly easy. I don't think he'll have to work fairly hard for that, but I don't think he'll have to invest a ton to win North Carolina. The third state is Virginia. Virginia is pretty tough because of some demographic changes and some things like that. A lot of people talk about how there's a large federal workforce, particularly in Northern Virginia, of people who live in Northern Virginia but work in D.C. And the thought is that most of them vote for Democrats, but we'll see about that. Rove talks about a lot of how the number of registered voters in Fairfax County has gone down, and that is one of the counties in Northern Virginia, so we'll see. But Virginia will most likely be a swing state, and whoever carries it, it'll be like a 2 or 3, 4-point margin. Not, it'll just who campaigns the best in there, who has the best ads, and who sets up the best ground game. It should be interesting. That could turn out to be the state to watch the most. There's a somewhat of a likely chance that however Virginia goes, the whole nation's going to go in terms of who wins. The Virginia is likely to win the whole contest. Not definite, but most likely. So that's the 3 that Romney has to win: Virginia, Indiana, and North Carolina. That's the 3 part of the 3-2-1 plan. The 2 is 2 swing states, 2 traditional swing states that, again, are swing states that Romney has to carry, that Obama carried in 2008, Florida and Ohio. I actually think that Florida and Ohio, Romney's more likely to win them than he is Virginia. Florida, for a couple of reasons. The Jewish population of Florida is not very happy with Obama. His popularity among them is low. He's also losing popularity among Hispanics there. Um, and then Northern Florida is going to go for Romney anyway. Um, so yeah, I think Romney is likely to carry Florida. Then Ohio. Um, I also think Romney will carry for a couple of reasons. First of all, um, the Obama struggles with the working class vote, which is what a lot of Ohio is. So it'll be Ohio will be a pretty tough battleground, but I think Romney will win. And one of the things that you can look out for there is that Romney had a that was Ohio, if you remember, was one of the really tight races in the primary when it was Romney versus Santorum, and Romney beat Santorum. So maybe Romney can carry the momentum from that race into the general election. We'll see. So yeah, that's the two traditional swing states that Obama carried that Romney has to carry: Florida and Ohio. And before I get to the one part of the 3-2-1, the one interesting thing to note about the 3 and 2 is that 4 out of the 5 states, for what it's worth, which I don't think is a ton, but it's worth noting, 4 out of those 5 states have a vice or home to a possible VP for Romney. Indiana with Mitch Daniels, Virginia with the governor there, Bob McDonnell, Florida with Senator Marco Rubio, and Ohio with Senator Rob Portman. There's a good chance that one of those 4 will be the vice presidential pick. So we'll see. That doesn't bring in a ton of votes, but it's something to look out for. That if Romney thinks I really have to win this state, I gotta choose one of these 4. It's worth noting that those 4 states all have possible vice presidential picks in them. And then the one part of the 3-2-1 plan is to win any other state that Obama won in 2008 outside of those other 5. So the possible ones could be New Hampshire, where Romney's from Massachusetts, close to New Hampshire, and there's also Senator Kelly Ayotte there who he could possibly pick for VP. Pennsylvania, which is similar to Ohio in the sense of the working class vote. There's other Midwestern states of Michigan and Wisconsin that are swing states, or could be swing states that Romney could try to win. And worth noting there as well is that those were both states that were close in the primary. They were big primary states, and Romney won both of them, so that's another thing to look out for. So if Romney can carry the momentum from those states into the general. And then there's some western states that Romney could win that Obama won in 08: Nevada, New Mexico, and Colorado. Any of those states, and those are all could go for Romney, because New Mexico, there's the Republican governor Susana Martinez. Nevada, as most people know about, the pretty high unemployment there. So yeah, Colorado could be tough, but we'll see. That'll probably be within 4 or 5 percentage points in general. So, and then there's a couple other states that Romney could try to win. Iowa. I think Romney's got a great shot to win Iowa. That could be a state to watch. And then there's a couple outside the box ones that Romney could try to make an effort to win, like Washington State, New Jersey, Minnesota, perhaps. Um, yeah, that's pretty much it. He doesn't. Yeah, even though he's from Massachusetts, that'll be tough to win. Um, he's yeah. So that's a 3-2-1 strategy. Uh, win 3 traditional Republican states that um, Obamacare in 2008, Indiana, Virginia, and North Carolina. Win 2 traditional swing states that Obamacare in 08, Florida and Ohio, and win any other state on the map. Um, and he gets a 270, wins a nomination. And also he has to win all the states that McCain won in 2008, which, how I talked about, he most likely will. So we'll see. It's end of May here, so we only have a couple months left. It should be interesting this whole summer, and then moving into November with the election. And the second part is, can that strategy work for Romney? Yes, I think it can. I think it's the best strategy for him. Kind of puts a, I don't know what plan they're using. I'm not involved with the camp. But I think that something along the lines of that is what they're probably trying to do. Um, yeah, those 5 states in the 3-2 part of the plan are probably uh, 5 of the states that are most likely to switch from Obama to Romney. Um, so, yeah, I definitely think if Romney executes it well and runs a good campaign, he can execute the 3-2-1 strategy and win the election. So we'll see. We'll follow it over the next couple of months. Thanks for watching. See you next time.